Welcome back to Beneath the Beat podcast. Let's dive into part 2 of our interview with Evan Taylor.
Yeah, man.
So Evan, I'm gonna detour this train for a second, and I want to ask you about your social media. Okay, because your social media, I know we were talking about this a little before the podcast, but like, dude, your social media is gold, like absolute gold. And I mean, one thing that I feel like a lot of artists, at least musical artists, struggle with is figuring out how to put out content that's not just music, right? And you have seemingly mastered that art. Like your photos are on point. Like you had this one the other day where you were like down in this hot pose and you had like the pixels coming off the back. I was like, oh shit.
That's the one you sent us. We're going to use that.
Yeah, dude. It's like that stuff is just, it's so fire. So how do you go about first off finding artists to actually take the photography for you, photographers for that matter, you know? And second off, how do you afford to do that? Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, man, I can't afford a photographer. So I know there's ways around that. So how do you go about that?
Oh boy.
I know it's a lot.
That's
I'm
loaded.
a long-winded dude, man. I'm a long-winded dude.
You're good. No, it's good questions. And I don't think I've necessarily mastered it yet. Because obviously, you know, it's like I was saying earlier, people, you know, look up to a person, and I have people that I look up to, and the reason that I do certain things is because I'm inspired by other people. So I have friends who are like models full time and like do like they travel all around the world. One of my good friends, I play in his band, his name's Joshy Soul, and he has like 70,000 followers on TikTok now for like roller skating and modeling and stuff. And like, you know, not to like measure people based on their following, but like that's pretty killer. Like in this day and age, to be able to have that kind of following is awesome. And his Instagram does really well too. And so for me, I'm always looking at Josh and being like, wow, like this guy like goes to Florence and like buys custom tailored suits, and then like has like he works for a company called Taft. They make shoes, and he does shoots with them. They shoot music videos with him in it.
Oh wow.
And like it's dope. Like so I don't know. I look at people like that and I'm like, man, I haven't really done a whole lot, but I was telling him earlier that I have quite a few friends who are very talented photographers. So my friend Angie that I met, she lives out here. She's also a musician. She's a singer, and I would just say young entrepreneur artist. She can sing. She's very good at taking pictures. She's a very talented musician. And I met her when I got out here. I actually recorded, she has a song on Spotify called Something Special. And I recorded like trumpet on it.
Oh, cool.
And I've like hung out with her quite a bit and worked with her in various corporate entertainment groups and things like that. She does really awesome photography. And so I've had her do probably like 5 or 6 shoots for me. Some of them I've paid her pretty well for. Others, she's just like, hey, I need a person to shoot this. Like, this is what I'm thinking. And we're just good friends. So it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, I'll come over. Like, we just did a projector shoot. I ended up using, I don't know if you saw the picture that has like, it's like yellow and black stripes.
Yeah.
And like the sun. Yeah. And I'm going like this or whatever. That picture, she was like, hey, I'm like looking for people to like shoot this crazy projector thing. And I was like, hey, what's up? I'm not doing anything today. So I drove over to her house, and we were just in her room. Like, she had a projector shooting against the wall, and she just took all these like grainy film pictures with the projector, and we like put different images up. So like that turned into a really dope shoot, and now I have those photos and can use them for promotion or whatever. That's one instance, you know. But then there's other times where if I know I have a big project coming, like I'm releasing a single soon, then I hit Angie up, or I hit up my friend Jacob Funes, who lives out here, sick photographer. We've done a few shoots together. my friend Kevin, who was my roommate in college for 2 years, like used to have him shoot all the time. And man, you'd be surprised. Like if you're friendly with people and you just are around the right people, you become friends with them. You know, everyone is looking for a reason to do things. And just as I would go into the studio for either of you guys and record trumpet, you know, on a whim. If I'm in town and you guys are like, hey, you want to just like come over and track a couple things, like I'm down. You know, I'm not the type of person that's gonna be like, oh yeah, it'll be $250, that'll be $400. You know, I'm not gonna like charge my friends for stuff. And people are the same way with art and photography and stuff. And so I always try to do right by people. Like if they say, here's my normal rate, you know, then I'll say, okay, I'll pay you your normal rate, you know. But if they don't mention it, then it's funny, because if they don't mention it and then you still like throw them $100 or something, then they're even more appreciative. They're like, wow, that's dope that he would like go out of his way to like make sure I get paid for something. And then you find that like it comes full circle,
right?
Like every single time it comes full circle, because now there's projects where I just go in for free or like for free, you know, I just go into work and then end up like someone throws me a bone and I'm just like, dude, like, thank you so much. I wasn't even expecting to get paid for this.
Right.
And then there's levels to it, you know, you just keep working your way up. But no, dude, I've been super fortunate that there's great photographers out here. I'm just well connected in the community. I try to go to jam sessions like all the time and just like be involved with people and just be around, you know, like after this podcast is up, like we're all going downtown in like an hour or two and we're going to like go get tacos, just like a bunch of my friends, and just try to be on the scene, you know. I feel like that's how I kind of have done well in Salt Lake. It's just like showing up, like where's the hang at, like let me be there. If I see somebody on Instagram is like downtown and there's like 5 people there that I know, I just like hustle down there real quick and like just go be around people. I think that's like the most valuable thing you can do in any community, business, music. The best way to market yourself is truly by just like hanging out with people and being a good person.
Yeah, that's the truth. One of the first things I learned, and this is like it's like a business sales kind of thing, right? But the saying is, if you're trying to sell Bibles, go to a church, right? So you have to like find where that market is. You have to go there. You have to physically be present. I think that's something that a lot of people can learn. Like if you're afraid to go out to a jam session, go. Like don't let your mind get in the way of doing that stuff, because you'll it's not just about like obviously part of going to a jam session is going up, playing and sounding good, but like it's about you being there, you being a good hang. You know, I know when I started playing with paddle bots, like I was like, why did you guys pick me? Like there's a lot of better people out there, you know. Right. But when it comes down to it, they knew that I worked hard, they saw me in the practice rooms a lot, and they knew that I was always down for the hang.
That's everything, dude. And it's like, I mean, on top of that, I feel like, yeah, like there's just like you said, I mean, just being there, being present, and like enjoying that time. But the number one thing that I always try to like tell people to get away from is like expectation. Like, don't expect it to turn into something. Like, don't go like, for example, like people go out to like Los Angeles and New York all the time, like musicians. Yeah, I'm speaking directly to musicians who are like, all right, man, yeah, we're booking the flight. We're going to go out to New York City for the weekend. You know, we're going to go to Smalls and we're going to go to here and we're going to try to sit in at these sessions and like play and stuff. And it's like, when you try to be all markety and like, I'm here for the gig type of deal, then no one wants to be around you.
Right.
Like, a musician would rather see you show up to their gig, like have your horn, always have your horn or your axe, whatever, you know, be ready when the opportunity presents itself. But more importantly, man, just like go show up to their gig, like buy food, buy a drink, hang out with people, talk to people, be normal. Don't sit there in the front row with your horn like this, waiting waiting to play the next tune. Like, don't do that, because just go hang out with people and enjoy yourself, and you know, let yourself shine when the moment presents itself. When that opportunity presents itself, then yeah, you better be ready, You better
Yeah.
be ready to get up there and smash. But like
Mhm.
until then, just relax. Just
Mhm.
Yeah.
enjoy yourself.
It's the idea of being genuine.
Yeah,
And people
Totally.
people pick up on that real quickly. They pick up on it not only with how you act and how you interact with people, but also with your playing. If you're trying to be somebody you're not, people see through that super quickly. People
Mhm.
are intuitive to that very quickly. So
It all goes hand in hand.
it all goes
really
hand
does.
in hand,
Yeah.
man. It's an
Yeah.
extension. It's an
Dude,
extension
that
of your
actually
personality.
that actually reminds me of a time before when Paddle Boss was Paddle Boss, and I wasn't playing with those guys yet. There was like still the same rough group. There's some different people in the band. I knew all the guys except for Cortez. Cortez, I had only seen him play. I had seen him play like, I don't know, 15, 20 times. And I was so nervous to talk to him. But I heard they were playing at this bar in my hometown. And I was not 21 yet, but I like wanted to see this gig so bad. And so I brought my trumpet case and I had a friend who was playing at the time, and I like texted him. I was like, "Yo, dude, can you just like help me get in?" And so I brought my trumpet, and he like carried the trumpet case, and he came outside. He grabbed the trumpet from me. We walked in together, and when we got to the bouncer, he's like, "Oh, he's with the band." I just walked in, and I got to sit and see the whole gig, which was like crazy for me because the only times that I was able to see them was at like these little local events that would happen once every couple months, and I'm like, these are the spots that I want to be. But like, I went there, I went and hung, I saw all the guys, and then fast forward a couple years, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you want to play with us?" I'm like, "Oh, dude!" Went full tot. I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm in." Yeah. Yeah, dude.
That's how
So-
it happens.
Speaking of that picture, I just want to show everybody real quick. Dope.
Dude, so good.
Mhm.
So good.
So I clicked on it. I wasn't expecting to hear music, so sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, everybody who's
Little
listening
sneak
to
peek.
this or will listen to this, go follow Evan Taylor on Instagram. It's at Evan Taylor Music. I'll link it down below.
Mhm. Yeah, so speaking of that, we got a couple things pulled up here, so we might as well take a look at them.
Oh,
But
the little
this is
pocket trumpet?
It's the pocket trumpet. I didn't know this was a thing. And then Zach the other day is like, "Oh yeah, dude, that's a pocket trumpet, man."
No, I was like, dude, you got to pull up the one with the little pocket trumpet.
Wow.
Bro, talk about bop.
So let's talk about how. So what were you just improving there, or what was going on?
Dude, sorry. The first thing I'm seeing is this comment from Marcus that says, "Why are you spitting on that Grammy?" Shout out Marcus Anderson. That dude is like one of my best friends out here, and
Okay,
he just
cool.
always has the one-liners. Like, so funny, dude. It's
That
a
is
little
so-
hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes he
Yeah.
like throws stuff out that you're just like, "What are you saying, dude?" But,
Yeah.
but he definitely hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Truthfully, I don't remember why I made that video. I think literally Caleb and I, you guys just talked to him,
Yep.
but we were on the phone that day and we were just kind of talking about how like social media really is kind of a game.
Mhm.
And people just like want to see like crazy stuff,
Hmm.
Like if you think about like if you go to like your explore tab, which is like dangerous game,
Right.
but if you go to your explore tab, the first like 5 or 6 videos to pop up are going to be, similar to whatever you are most interested in. For me, it's golf. I love golf. So like every time I open my explore tab, all it is just like crazy, like Phil Mickelson shots and stuff. And like
Out of the bushes.
exactly. And they get like 20,000 views. And it's just
Yeah.
like, it's just the most like ridiculous thing out there. And so I was talking to Caleb and we were kind of talking about just like chatting about how do you get more views on a video? How do you get more following? How do you get more traction to your page? And I was like, dude, honestly, people just want to see like weird stuff. Like they
Right.
want to see really fast, really high, like I'm wearing a pink sweatshirt in that video, like that has a trumpet on it. And then I'm playing a trumpet that's this big and it's like shiny gold. It's just like people want the like weird stuff,
Speaking of weird shit.
Oh yeah.
That was just me being me. I was just screwing around and my friend like happened to take a video and I was like, oh yeah, that's got to go on the gram.
Dude, that's so
So
funny.
for everybody who's listening, we have Evan playing trumpet. You're going to hear him play trumpet beautifully, but he's also on, what is that called?
Is it a hoverboard or something?
Hoverboard or whatever those things are called that just like walk for you.
Yeah, those little like segways.
Hoverboard.
Without the, yeah.
So for me, it's hilarious because if I was just to sit back and listen to that, it's like, wow, that dude is good. Let alone you're just strolling around in a studio. Like we were talking, we're like, what about like at the end of that video, it looks like he's about to eat shit over that drum set.
Yeah, I was like, dude, he's going into the drum set. There it is.
And for like the people that don't like, what kind of horn are you playing there?
So that's an Adams F1 flugelhorn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Adams makes great horns, man. They're beautiful, but their flugelhorns, especially, and that one, man, it's just like so buttery, so like nice. It's probably the nicest horn I've ever bought. But yeah, I love that thing.
You make it sound good, man.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, I mean, when I was just like screwing around, we came into the studio. We were just hanging out. I think my friend was like wrapping up a session. So Rocket Skates Recording, that place, is here in Salt Lake City. It's Salt Lake based. And my friend Mike Johnson works out of there. And my other friend Norbert Bueno, who is actually a PM for Warner, and which is how I got hooked up with the artist residence thing or recording artist spot for Warner Chapel was through Norbert.
Oh, cool.
But they both like had been working out of that studio like pre-COVID, and then I think like COVID hit, and I went and bought a hoverboard because I was like bored at the house all day, and I just like wanted something to do, so I just was like, I need to go like just get something to just like keep myself a little bit entertained, and so like actually it was funny. I went to a indoor like warehouse last night and people were roller skating and stuff, and I was riding that around in the roller rink. And we all had masks on. It was funny, but yeah, they had like disco music playing in there. I was just on the hoverboard, just, like,
dude,
riding around.
You're your own party by yourself, man. You don't need all the extra lights and shit, dude.
It's a good time. That thing's crazy too. It has a Bluetooth speaker on it, so you can like hook music up to it.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's
no
nuts.
way.
Dude, I feel like if I ever tried to stand on one of those, I think I have pretty good balance. Okay. I think I have pretty good balance. But I feel like if I ever stood on one of those, it'd be like that scene where the dude just like flies backwards and goes through the wall, and then it's just like, oh shit. That would be me.
Well, it's nice because it actually has a little bit of auto balance. Like, so like once you start moving forward, like it kind of like, it balances for you in a lot of ways, but then you do have to have a little bit of like self-control and stability to get around on it, but it's not too bad. But yeah, we were just screwing around. So I was like playing some rhythm change. I had been like practicing. I was actually getting ready for ITG.
Yeah.
And
for people that don't know, ITG is the International Trumpet Guild. If you want
yeah.
And I know that. I'm a percussionist, and somehow I know that.
You know that because I told you, Andy. Don't try and act all smart, bro.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Evan.
No, you're good. Yeah, so they had a like a jazz. I mean, they host one annually. It's like a collegiate international jazz trumpet competition, and so I enrolled in that, and I was placed as a co-finalist. And we were actually supposed to go compete against each other. There's three of us.
Right.
There was a kid from Miami Frost School of Music, and another guy on the East Coast or something. And so the three of us were supposed to go to like Ohio in I want to say end of March, and we were supposed to compete against each other, but then COVID and all that, so it just got canceled.
Wow, man.
And but I still was like, I had been practicing rhythm changes and was just in there like messing around, and like I hopped on a hoverboard and was clowning, and then one of my friends just thought it was funny to take a video.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I mean, you've won the Jazz in Europe, the seven Virtual Jazz Club Web Community Prize.
Yeah.
You got like the what is it, under 25? Can you enlighten us on that a little bit? Because I was like reading through that, and I didn't quite understand how that all worked.
Yeah, so there's a guy named Jan Fritz, and he runs this agency out of Berlin called the Jazz Media and More Agency, and they promote. They're sponsors and promoters for a lot of the big jazz festivals around the world. So like the Montreux Jazz Festival,
right.
Berlin Jazz Festival. Yeah, like they run a lot of the bigger jazz festivals that go on. And they are tied in with the 7 Virtual Jazz Clubs. So 7 Virtual Jazz Club is this online web community with jazz critics from around the world.
Mm.
And so each year they host a competition, and they invite everyone to enroll in it. And it's basically like they have 2 categories. They have the artists under 25, and then they have like artists. Mm-hmm. It's just the 2, so once you pass 25, you're no longer eligible to compete in the younger version of the competition.
Wow.
Basically what they have you do is they do a video submission. So I did my tune, Come On Over Here, which I actually wrote for my senior recital at Michigan State.
For those who haven't seen that, we check it out on YouTube. It is worth the listen. It is like worth the watch. It is worth the listen multiple times.
I appreciate
the arrangement. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, no, you're good. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
It's weird, like looking back on that, I'm just like because it's been so many years since I recorded it. But yeah, so I submitted that video kind of on a whim. Just one of my friends sent me an email and was like, hey, they're hosting this online web community prize. You should submit. And I was like, yeah, why not? So I had this video, submitted it, and I actually thought that I didn't place because it was based on like how many upvotes it got. So when I looked at the website, I actually didn't have as many upvotes as this other group from Canada that had like been killing it. Like their video had so many views. They were like, somehow toward the end of the competition, the judges like overruled the community vote. And so I was in second place actually, but the judges they like wanted me to like get the prize because I think because I was like more swing oriented and the other group was more like skunk funk type of stuff. So they were like, well, this is a jazz competition. We can't really,
Yep.
So yeah, it was like super clutch. I mean, I thought I lost. And then literally I got an email and I like woke up and was like, yo, and I like ran across the room and was like telling my family and stuff.
Wow, man.
I was like on the phone the whole day calling people. So excited.
Yeah. Tell us what that award, what that means for you.
Cool. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens like once COVID's over and everything kind of passes by. I was supposed to actually go out to Berlin Jazz Festival this year and like perform with my own music. And also, so like you receive a cash prize for being the winner of the thing. So they like PayPal me some money. But then you also like get an opportunity to play at Montreux Jazz Festival and Berlin Jazz Festival. Performing your original music, they fly your band out, taken care of and everything. So once COVID's over, I've actually FaceTimed Jan, who's like the, owner of Jazz Media. And he's like, if there's anything we can do right now to help you out, let us know. But for the time being, we obviously can't fulfill like what your contract said. So, but he's like, we'll be in touch and like, hopefully this pandemic like kind of clears up soon. And, so it is what it is, just kind of like letting the time pass and hoping that like maybe once the year is over, maybe I'll have to like resubmit to the competition with new music or something.
That's super cool, though, dude. That's super, super cool.
Yeah. Wow. What an award.
Thanks,
but again, you earned that, man. And for everybody, I apologize. There's a dog being trained right now in my living room. So if you heard a dog barking, it's because
I did hear a little yip.
Man, what a unique opportunity. And again, that just goes doing the hard work, but also like when you're applying for a certain type of competition, you better make sure you're playing the right music.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
You know, also I think that comes from a certain level of fearlessness. You know, I don't, and in some respect, I don't knock the other dudes for playing skunk funk or anything on that, because it's like that's their stuff. You know what I mean?
They were burning, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, they got it. I lost.
Yeah.
But I mean, imagine the recognition. I mean, the recognition they got from that too, man.
For sure.
If you haven't listened to it, check it out. What's the name of the tune again? I just want to make sure I don't.
Come on over here.
Come on over here. Check it out. YouTube.
Yeah, it's about like being at a party and then you yell across the room. You're like, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And then you see your friend. You're like, "Come on over here. I gotta tell you something."
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching that. You give like a little bit of a
little speech at the beginning.
A little intro to that. And then when they come closer, hey, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's super cool. One more video I wanted to share with everybody because I think this is awesome. I don't know. I thought this was really cool. It's like you on the porch with your mom.
Oh, good. Yeah.
First of all, you sound great, but I think just the
my mom. The dog right there too. We were vibing.
Yeah. Dude, so if for people that aren't watching this and just listening, he's on the deck with his computer, like a microphone, like an audio interface. He's got earbuds in. His mom is sitting right next to him, listening with earbuds in too, and the dog is just chilling. And they're on their back porch. That's got to be super gratifying. Let me stop sharing the screen. That's going to be super gratifying for your mom, just sitting back and listening to you play.
Yeah, it's a funny video. I don't think you could have done a better job describing that video. You hit every element.
There's also the lawn. Is that your parents' lawn?
Yeah.
That's
so my parents,
amazing.
Yeah, they live on like an orchard, like it's like an orchard home. So
yeah.
Our backyard is huge. Like it, yeah. I mean, we just like my dogs. We have two of them. They're both blue heelers, and we like to just like we hit tennis balls for them, and they go chase them, and they book it. I mean, dude, it's got to be like 150 yards to the back of the lawn. So like you hit a tennis ball, it's just like, and it takes, and they just book it like 100 yards full sprint, and they go get the tennis ball and bring it back.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so if you don't know, like that video is actually, that beat was made by this guy named Homage Beats. And he's like a sick beat creator. I found him, like I downloaded Logic, I think in like January. Like I started like just messing with Logic. I had never like made beats before or anything. So I'm still learning. Like I have downloading new VSTs and drum samples and stuff every day and trying to get better at it. I just started watching all these YouTube videos, like watching like Kenny Beats work on stuff. And then I started finding all these like random like beat creators on YouTube all doing the same thing, all like tutorial videos or like little videos of them making stuff. Well, this guy, Homage Beats, he uploads like almost like a beat a day to YouTube. And they're all fire. Like every single one. Like he doesn't
sounded so good.
Right? Yeah, that one, and that one's called Papaya. And I just like, I mean, all of them are on his YouTube channel and they all say like free download. Like he just puts them up and says, here, you guys can have it. Like a rapper or whoever wants it. And I'm like, dude, like that is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
It's quality, man. I was about to ask you, like, did you create that beat? Because that beat is amazing.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. I was like, dude, holy shit.
I mean, your playing is incredible on top of it, obviously.
Thank you.
That beat, dang, dude.
No, I just like started downloading a bunch of them and we're just like, I still do it sometimes. I just download Homage's beats and other people too. There's a lot of YouTube like beat creators and stuff. I'll just download their beats and like put horns on it. And I've been trying to like just send them to people and be like, hey, look what I did with your beat. And sometimes they hit me back and they're like, dude, this is dope. And sometimes they hit me back. They're like, cool. Like thanks. Whatever.
Cool, man.
No, dude, that stuff is cool though, man. That stuff is rad. And you said that was Homage Beats?
Like HOMAGE.
Yeah. Man, that's fire. I'm actually gonna have to look that up after.
Yeah, he's dope, man. He's super dope.
Yeah. So for Gratitude, bringing it full circle, how did you go about producing that? Did you do it all yourself? Did you have people helping you out, or?
Definitely had a lot of help with it. And like, so I wrote the song originally, like I wrote it on guitar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have this acoustic guitar hanging on my wall right here. And guitar was my first instrument. Like,
oh, cool.
I got like an Epiphone Les Paul thing when I was in like 4th grade, 5th grade, somewhere in there. And started playing. I used to play guitar in church growing up and everything. And that was like, that was my go-to instrument, I like played guitar basically up until the day I left for Michigan State. And like when I got to MSU, I even brought my guitar with me, but then when it became all about trumpet so much, like I just didn't have time for it anymore. So I started selling guitars and buying new horns and, and just like maybe 3 months ago, my friend Seth had this acoustic laying in his apartment and I was jamming on it. And he's like, dude, I actually have 2 of them. If you want to keep that one, you can.
Whoa.
I was like, dude, like, are you serious? And it's not like a crazy expensive guitar or anything, but it's like, it's nice. And I restrung it, started toying around again. And I like fell in love with guitar playing.
Yeah.
And so I've just been like in my room jamming and like figuring out new licks. And I'm actually like buying a Strad this week too from one of my friends. Just cause like I completely fell in love with guitar again. I like missed it so much and it's just a different like texture. So I wrote this this melody like and like that was all like chords on the guitar. So I had it and I kept like playing that loop and it stuck with me I guess long enough that even like a couple weeks later when I picked up my guitar at my parents' house in Michigan, I like started playing it again. And Dutcher Snedeker was over at my house. Dude,
the man.
I love that guy.
That's how the whole thing went down because I was like, yeah, Dutcher, I had this idea for a song. He had been like laying keys down on a couple other things for me already. Like I'm working on an album right now, which is like low key, but he was tracking some stuff. He brought his whole like keyscape setup over and everything. And so I was like, yeah, Dutcher, I had this idea for a song and I played it for him and it was just like a couple chords. It was a loop. And I did all my own drums on the track and everything too. But I played that guitar loop a few times and Dutcher was like, yeah, here. And he just started playing keys and I started hearing like more of it like come together. And I was like, oh, okay, this is sweet. I was like, oh, it'd be dope. I was like, let's get Brandon. I'm going to get Brandon Rose to play bass on this. I don't know if you know Brandon.
Yeah,
he's a Detroit bassist.
With Paddle Bats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we did the
With
Christmas
Des.
thing with
Yeah.
him too. Yeah. So Brandon's my homie, and we work back and forth. He just had a new album called Transition come
Cool.
out, or Transitions, and so I recorded some trumpet on that for him. And we're always like kind of bouncing projects back and forth to each other. But I hit up Brandon. He got on there, and then so earlier on in the week, like 2 days before I had gotten back, I was in Detroit at, I forget the name of the studio, Rust Belt Studios. And I was recording for Mario Sulaksana's record. And he had like a bunch of like really talented musicians in there working, but Sasha Kashperko, guitar player, was on the session. And if you don't know who Sasha is like a Detroit local guy, insane jazz guitar player, R&B guitar player. He does everything, and he does it like top notch. I mean, it's one of the best guitar players that I have ever met in my entire life, hands down. So he was on the session, and we like worked together on a couple tracks while I was there in Detroit. And so, yeah, I mean, Sasha's worked with Common. He's like worked like, yeah, I mean, he's like big time, like really good guitar player. I got back into got back into Ludington, and we got Brandon on the track. Dutcher was playing a little bit keyboard, and I started laying the drums down, and I was like, this really like needs like a really good guitar player. Like, I'm not cutting it, And so I hit up Sasha on a whim and was like, hey dude, like how much would it take for you to, record on this for me? And he was like, send it over. And I sent it to him, and he just gave me a rate and was super chill. And I just, Venmo'd him, and he sent back these like stellar takes, like the breakdown in the middle of the song is, I mean, without Sasha, the song wouldn't have. And so I texted him back. I was like, dude, like you made this song, like you. So, and I just, I had like car keys, and I was like using those for drums, some other random like little nail boxes, and I use random stuff.
We also heard like bubbles.
This is a box of nails.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool, man. I remember listening to it and distinctly saying to Zach, "Who is playing guitar on this?"
Sasha.
Sounds so good. He's got like a little thing at the end that he does.
Yeah,
awesome,
I literally didn't take anything out that he played. I just put it all in there because I was just like, none of this is bad.
It's all good.
It all sounds good.
Works.
Yeah. And so I kind of let him have that little outro thing because I just, something about it just sat right with me. I was like, yeah, that's it. So, but then I sent it over to Norbert, the guy I had mentioned before. He's a PM for Warner, and basically he writes, mixes, masters. He does everything, like writes all these tracks, and he does it year round for Warner, So he truly is a mastermind in the studio. And I'm actually, you'll be seeing some stuff about this, but tomorrow I'm going to Counterpoint Studios with him here in Utah, and which is where what's his name? Post Malone records there all the time.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because he actually lives like near, I think he lives in Park City. Yeah. So we're going to Counterpoint tomorrow. We're recording a trumpet sample pack. And we're actually making a track together there tomorrow, and then releasing the sample pack as like a splice package. And so people can download like horn samples and stuff. So, but Norbert, I know how the track sounded when I sent it to him, and like he just put that extra like sparkle on it. Because when I got it back, I was like, this has to go on Spotify. It's like it's ready. It's
ready.
Yeah. So I definitely, I can't say that I needed that help. Like I needed that help to be there in order for that track to succeed. Because I can't say that I did it all on my own. I didn't.
Trumpet. Can you elaborate on the trumpet sample pack? Like, is that so? If you're like a recording musician, you have access to trumpet sounds. Is that how that kind of works? Or?
Right. So like beat makers are always looking for like horn samples and stuff. but I don't know if I'm sure you're familiar with Brass Tracks. They've done a couple of sample packs for Splice that are like pretty epic. Like, I mean, we're talking like fat horn layers. And so now like there's a lot of hip hop artists and people who are using Brass Track samples in their stuff, like layered horns. We're doing something similar, but maybe with our own unique touch. So it's going to be a lot of like little stabs, hits, licks, stuff here and there, just so like when people are making a track and they want something to add a little flair, they can just like pop a horn sample in there, or potentially make a keyboard out of the trumpet sounds and stuff. People are so creative, but if you just give them those tools to work with, hopefully spark some creativity and inspiration.
That's cool. I had no idea that was a thing. No idea. Yeah, that's really wow. What a cool perspective as a horn player. It's like you can create these sample packs that people can use. Really
cool. For sure,
dude. So you mentioned Brass Tracks. I fucking love Brass Tracks, dude. I fucking love them.
Yeah, it's annoying how much he loves them.
Dude, I can't. I even for one of the Tasty Tuesdays, I covered one of their tunes. I'm like,
oh yeah, for sure. Ivan is insane, dude.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, like unbelievable. Did you hear? What's the tune? I think it's called "Follows." They put out.
I don't think I've heard it, but I'll go check it out.
Oh, dude, dig it, bro. It's like, oh my god, it's so fucking fat. I was like, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, holy,
yeah.
Shit, it was on Before We Go. They released in 2019.
Sweet. Oh my God. Yeah, I will go check it out.
Yeah, if anybody has not heard of Brass Tracks, fucking turn this podcast off and go listen to Brass Tracks because they are unbelievable.
Definitely do that.
I love those guys, man. Yeah. I'm sorry, I had to freak out for a second.
That's real. Woo-hoo. That's real.
Apparently, he likes Brass Tracks.
Yeah, dude, it's just unbelievable. They're like, as far as one of the things in my own playing that I've always lacked is like that little bit of heat. You know what I mean? And that's something that like when I listen to Brass Tracks, I'm like, when I'm going into the upper register, that's what I want to sound like. And yeah, there's a lot of like layering and things like that, but it's like, it's there. There's like their hits are on, it's like, it's got that vibe. It's got that fire. I'm like, oh, let's go.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some shit. It's some shit.
They are sick for sure.
Dude.
Evan, real quick, man. How many trumpets do you have?
Yes.
Because we're watching some of your videos and man, you got a lot of horns, it seems like.
Yeah. Let's refine that question to how many horns, because they might not all be trumpets. They might be flugelhorns and things like that. But
yeah, I'm not a trumpet player. I don't know anything.
It's kind of embarrassing how many horns I have right now.
Yeah.
I should probably slim it down a little bit.
Dude, and feel free if you want, give us some samples, like whatever you want to do, man.
I'm wired in right now, dude.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. He's plugged in. He's in the Matrix right now.
I am, dude. I'm Neo. No, dude. I think I have two flugelhorns. One is a Dylan flugelhorn that I bought when I was at Michigan State. I still have that, and then I have the Adams flugelhorn, which I bought more recently after sometime in December, I think, or January when I bought that. So I have two flugelhorns, obviously the pocket trumpet, and then I have like 6 other trumpets.
Do you have like a C trumpet and everything?
No, I borrow a C trumpet.
Yep.
Whenever I need one.
That's the way it's
just because I don't use them enough to like justify owning one. But like if I'm probably going to start doing some like Broadway stuff too once COVID's over, and when that happens, I'll probably invest and get one. But I have like a lot of B flat trumpets just for different things. I bought a Yamaha Custom Z. It's a Alan Vizzuti Yamaha, and I use that for like pretty much everything right now because it's like a good lead horn. It's got the like I recorded Gratitude on it, so like you can still get like really good tone and like you know, you can play pretty. It's a very versatile horn.
Yeah.
But then I have another horn that's a cannonball that I actually played for like the last couple of years. That's the one that's raw brass. You've seen a lot of my videos, and that thing is sweet because I use it for like mostly jazz gigs. Just because it has like a lot mellower sound. It's not as bright. Sorry, excuse me. I've been just drinking like black coffee. My throat's a little dry.
For sure.
But so that thing's cool. It you know, definitely gets like more of like a fluffy tone. I like using that, like especially Marquise Hill is like one of my favorite trumpet players, and I love like getting that like smoky sound. And I really truly think that him playing on a raw brass trumpet kind of aids in that, like getting that sound, so that specific sound. So then I have an old Getzen. It's like a 1923 Getzen that I got as a present from one of my friends from like a resale store in Vermont. And that thing is like, I mean, so old. Like, and I said Getzen, I meant Gretsch. That's actually what sorry. It's a 1923 Gretsch.
Whoa.
But I also do have a Getzen that I just got from a thrift store like 2 weeks ago. And it's like it's like a 80s, like mid 80s Getzen that's like super clean. It's a recording horn. It needs some work. Like I'm working on the valves for it right now. But honestly, I'm like kind of like, and I get this from my friend Walter Cano, who is a great trumpet player that went to Michigan State when I was there. And he used to just sell horns like every week. He was like, new horn, new this, new that. And so I also have a box Strad 37 classic. Been playing that for years. But you know, obviously like it's with anything, with equipment, I'm sure with drums for you, and like honestly for trumpet too, like especially because you studied classical, you know, like the more equipment that you study and like learn about and you get into it, then when you make transitions to other, like you notice like all the little minuscule details, and that's like what separates different equipment from the next, you know?
Oh yeah, man.
So I think it's important to just, with anything you do, like pay attention to detail and keep like, you know, selling and upgrading and like kind of staying on top of it, like especially with technology and stuff, because you don't know what's out unless you're testing it and you're, you know, being aware of what it's going to do for you.
Yeah, you said you have a Yamaha Custom Z. That's the same horn that Haruki has.
Where does he have the Bobby Shoe?
He does have the Bobby Shoe. Cool.
Yeah, I like that model too. I actually had one of those for a couple of years that I was playing on. That was raw brass. But this one is at the Alan Vizzuti. It actually just got released in 2019. Okay.
Yeah, Haruki's is like heavily modified. Like I would venture out to say heavily modified. He bought the heavy caps for it.
Oh, sweet.
He only uses the third one and then the actual valve caps themselves, like the.
Oh wow!
Like the top caps.
I got you.
Yeah, and then he also has different like water key spit valves on.
Oh, okay, that's tight, man.
Yeah, his horn, like for his playing, I understand why that's his horn. Like whenever I played his horn, I'm like, this horn feels and sounds like Haruki. You know what I mean? Like that's
funny.
That's his thing. It's not my thing. It's not my favorite horn to play, but I also, in my own trumpet playing, I like my horns to have like some meat. You know what I mean? Like I'm not about, because you know the Bobby Shoe, it's like really, really slimmed down. It's
it's lightweight
horn. Yeah. And for me, I like to have a little bit more girth. I do more of the changing within the mouthpiece. You know, that's like
that's
my,
for sure.
Yeah, I do. I have like two main mouthpieces that I play. I've got the Marcinkiewicz. I think it's like the E3 C3, something like that. And that's like my lead-esque mouthpiece. And then I play this one right here, which is my main Broy. It's the GR66M.
Oh, sweet. I love GR pieces.
Yeah, me too. Me too. The response is just so good, you know?
Yep.
Like, I had tried, I don't know, like 12 mouthpieces or something before I found a GR mouthpiece. And GR was just such a cool company to go through, you know? Like I tried out so many different mouthpieces. I actually went through Thompson Music to get the GRs, but you know, they sent me like 4 mouthpieces and I tried them all out for like 2 weeks and I landed on the one that I have. So it's like, you know,
That's dope.
yeah,
Yeah, dude. And like everything's not for everybody, you know? It's like, I think the best thing that you can do is like go to a music warehouse. Like for me, it's like NAMM every year, you know, just going and like playing every single horn that's out there and every mouthpiece that's out there. And then you come home after the weekend and you're like, man, I really still like the box strat. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, for me, it's just finding that thing that's like comfortable. Right now, my favorite horn, truthfully, is the Bach 43.
Oh yeah,
It's just like the best horn that I've played in the past like 5 years. It literally is like amazing. I wish I had one, but yeah.
Well, Evan, it was great seeing you, man. It was great having you. We got a lot of great perspective on a lot of different things, man. A lot of different stuff, not just trumpet playing, not just music, but you're young, but you got an old soul, dude. We learned a lot. Today.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. I know for me, you're somebody that I've looked up to for a long time now. So to actually get the opportunity to sit down and talk with you about, you know, all things music, life, trumpets, you know, it's been a real blessing to have you come in here, man. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you guys. You know, feel free to hit my line anytime. I am an open book. You guys are just homies. So you don't even have to look at it like that. I'm just a friend. So feel free to call me anytime about anything.
I will. I'll hold you to that, man. I will.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Let's do some stuff. So again, Evan Taylor, check him out. He's got a new single on all the platforms called Gratitude, and he's coming out with a new album soon.
Yeah, it's in the works.
It's in the works. Cool.
It'll happen at some point.
It'll happen at some point. So if you check out Gratitude, you're gonna want to come back and keep coming back and checking out to see when that album drops, because it is good, creative, awesome stuff.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, we'll see you later, man. It's great talking to you.
Yeah.
All right, my guy.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you guys.